Hey guys, Daryl Sweeney here with Sweeney Coaching Group. Excited that it's Wednesday and we get to jump into a topic that honestly I've been getting a ton of questions about. So here's my question for you as we jump in. What is your favorite low cost marketing tactic? What is your favorite low cost marketing tactic? And while you're thinking about that and getting your comments down into, or your thoughts on it down into the comments, and please do jump in, let me know what you're thinking. Favorite low cost marketing tactic. I want to introduce myself. A lot of you know me, but for those who may be seeing this for the first time, my name is Daryl Sweeney. I am a business coach that helps entrepreneurs, that helps business owners, leaders, and ambitious professionals take their business to the next level, right? Figure out what it is that they want to do at work and at home, and then drive towards making that vision a reality. So, what about you? What is your favorite low cost marketing tactic? When I think about growth, when I think about marketing, one of the words that has become really, really popular over the last few years is growth hacking. Now, you've probably heard it, you've probably seen it floating around out there. But when I talk to people, a lot of people don't really know what it is. They think it's just another word for marketer. So, when we talk about growth hacking, it's really using creative low cost strategies to help businesses acquire and retain customers, right? So, get in front of and get customers, get more of them, get more opportunities, more leads. Now, here's the thing, it's not just another name for marketing, it's something more than that. So, there are lots of great marketers out there. There are great marketers in startups, there are great marketers in corporate America, there are great marketers up and down the Fortune 500, right? Lots of amazing marketers, lots of amazing things. Some of them have lots of amazing budgets. For most of the people I talk to, marketing budgets are a restraint, right? Or a constraint. So they're not able to just grab budget and do all the things they want to do. So they've got to get creative. They've got to figure out ways to drive their business forward, get in front of the right people in low budget and creative and guerrilla and grassroots ways. And that's not true for everybody, but it certainly is for growth marketers. So that's kind of a distinction. When you're thinking about growth marketers, it's how do I pull the levers? How do I turn the knobs that are going to drive this business forward without huge budgets? Right? When I think about growth hacking, the reality and this is truly how I think about marketing in general. We have to be experimenters, right? We have to have that experimenter mindset, almost a scientific mindset in which we hypothesize, right? We've got to look at all the options out there, and we know there's a ton of things we can do when it comes to marketing. We've got to look at all the options out there and decide on the ones that we think are going to make the most impact in our business, especially if our budget is a constraint. Then we prioritize, right? We've got to figure out, okay, here are 5 great ideas. Well, which one am I going to jump into first? And how does that lead into what's second, third, and so on? So we've got to look at what's available to us and figure out where we go and when. And lastly, we have to test. And that's why I say we need to have those experimenters mindsets. We have to be able to test what's working and what's not. And have the courage that when something's not working, to tweak it, to play with it, to not get wrapped up in disappointment or emotion one way or the other, but ask ourselves, what is there to learn, right? So we just ran this experiment. What did we know? What do we know now that we didn't know before? And how can that impact my business? How can that impact the next thing I want to do? You know, the best marketers I've seen, the best people that are jumping into this growth hacking thing are people that understand they need to constantly be creating these marketing experiments. And they're always analyzing and testing to see what's working. So if you're thinking about growth hacking, it's really 2 things. First, figure out why you grow. It sounds simple, but you'd be surprised. I have seen so many businesses. I've worked with so many people in businesses who have done incredible things, and they have built an incredible business that sometimes they're even surprised at the success. Right? And I'm not calling them lucky by any means. They had to make a lot of tough decisions, a lot of tough calls to get the results they've gotten. But they're now at this place that they want to take things a step higher. They want to go to the next level, but they don't know how. And it usually comes down to 2 things. One, it's the old saying, what got you here won't get you there. But also, some things fell into place for them. Some things happened, whether it was timing, whether it was environment, whether it was partnerships, some things happened that exploded their business, right? And when you ask them, well, what made this possible? They may not even fully know. So the first part of growth hacking is figuring out what has made us successful, what makes us grow. And then once we have a good understanding of what makes us grow, then it gets into being really diligent, figuring out ways to do more of that, right? Figuring out ways to make that happen on purpose, right? We don't discredit things that weren't done on purpose, things that were accidents, things that were happy accidents. But now we want to take the learning, we want to take the information, the knowledge, and start doing these things on purpose, right? So when you think about growth hacking, if you've never heard the phrase the pirate funnel, I strongly encourage you go look it up. So the pirate funnel, why is it called that? Well, the letters in there are AAARRR, right? So R, so like a pirate, right? It makes sense. But here are the steps and here are the different pieces. And when you're talking about growth, it's not just one thing. It's not just about more leads. It's about how are you driving growth in your business, right? So it starts with awareness, the first A, right? How many people are you reaching? Acquisition. How many people visit your website? Right? Activation. How many of those people that visit your website or come to your event or make a phone, how many of those people are taking the first important step that you need them to take? Right? And then we move into the R's. Right? So we have retention. How many people come back for a second, a third, a 10th time? Right? Revenue, right? One of all of our favorite words, especially if we're talking about growth. Revenue. How many people start paying? Right? And how much do they pay? It's understanding that. Right? And then referral. How do we start to create this loop that the people that have paid, the people that continue to pay and keep coming back, how do we get them to tell other people and bring more people into your funnel and into your operation? So why am I talking about all this? As I said at the top, I get asked all the time, how do we get more leads? How do we get more sales? How do we drive more revenue? How do we get in front of more people? Right? How do we grow this business? And it's very natural to think that the only answer is more leads in the top, but that's not true, right? Growth hacking is really about looking at each of those 6 pieces: awareness, acquisition, activation, retention, revenue, and referral, and figuring out, are we optimizing what's going on at each step to drive growth in the business? What's working and what's not? What experiments can we run? How can we make this a little better? And when you get all 6 of those things working together, well, now you have an opportunity to drive some serious growth in your business and do it very, very quickly. Because so many of you are asking, because there's so many questions, because growth is top of mind for so many of us, I want to start talking about it more. I want to start sharing ideas, marketing hacks, things that I've seen in my businesses, things that I've seen in my client businesses, and things that I've just come across that are working, that are impacting organizations out there and can probably impact yours. I want to start sharing these ideas, call them tips, call them whatever you want. But in these videos, I'm going to start sharing more of these things. So going forward, be on the lookout for that. And look, I don't know. I'll call them, maybe I'll number them. Maybe I'll call them growth hack number 1 or whatever it is. And while none of them will be kind of building this entire growth hacking mindset, each one of them will be an idea, a tactic, something that you can implement in your own business to get closer to that vision, get closer to the growth you're seeking, get closer to get in front of new people, driving new leads, driving new revenue into your business. So hopefully kind of introducing this idea was helpful for you. Hopefully this is a topic that excites you, that you want to learn more about. Starting next week, I'll deliver kind of growth hack number 1. And hopefully you'll be on board for it. If this was helpful, tag somebody that you think also needs to hear this message. Tag somebody who's been a part of the conversation in your organization about how do we take things to the next level? How do we get in front of more people? Make sure that they're tuned in and you all can walk away from these videos and have conversations about what you want to implement. Guys, if you're not on my email list, head over to my website, darrellsweeney.com. Get on my email list for no other reason than I'm going to be sharing a lot of these ideas, a lot of these tips, a lot of these hacks through email. And you'll always know what's coming up in the next video. Sometimes, guys, on these videos, I have resources. I'll have downloads if I think I can put something together to make it easier to implement or execute. Sometimes I won't, so I always like managing expectations. But more than anything, I just appreciate you. Thanks for watching. If there is anything going on in your business today where you're having this conversation, you want to think through, okay, what were those 6 levels and how do I figure out how to optimize each one? How do I take a good hard look at my own strategy, my own plan for growth, and really start pushing that forward so that we can hit our revenue and growth goals in 2021? Hit me up, right? If you're just curious about coaching and the impact it can have, obviously I love doing it and I love talking about it. Hit me up. We can have a very non-committal, easy, approachable conversation about that. So whatever it is, please reach out. Hit me up in the comments. You can find me on this platform. You can find me over on my website. See you guys next Wednesday.